Hey everybody, Tanya here. Welcome to another edition. I received an order for another treasure box, and this one they wanted purple. So today we're going to be starting with some primer, and I'll be moving on into a paint pour. We're going to see how this turns out, so stick around and find out. The next step is to take a straw, just keep blowing the paint around until you're happy with it. This process creates a really pretty marble effect. Once I'm done with this step, I'll be letting it dry for a few days. Next, I start placing my embellishments and trying to figure out how I want it to look onto the box. Once I get the placement down, I throw on some paint and get these glued onto the box. I'm going to be creating some molds using my casting resin. It sets up in about 10 minutes. You can pull it right out of the mold and glue it onto the box. I always have leftovers, so I just pull out an extra mold for something I may use on another project. I played around with the color on these embellishments a little bit, added some white and some purple, and just didn't like the contrast very well. I just kind of kept working on it, and eventually I decided these needed to be silver to create that really pretty contrast, and you'll see how that turned out. silver is definitely the winner here. I'm using my silver gilding wax to go in on the details, the metal parts, and the embellishments themselves. Here I'm just taking my silver gilding wax and going around and kind of doing a dry brush around all the goodies that I've added here. It gives it kind of a glow and it actually looks really cool. This particular order, they wanted their initials on the box. You can see on the top there on the lid. Later, here in a few minutes, I have to come back in and switch those letters around. They had decided they wanted them in the opposite order. So that's coming up here in a minute. But before we get to that, I need to add a few last minute details and give it a good solid coverage of shellac. This is the part where I find out my glue holds up really well. Next, we're moving on to the inside, putting down a layer of Mod Podge so that I can decoupage some pretty paper. Here you can see I'm sanding off the excess paper and I've started painting the inside of the top of the box. I finally decided what I want to do there. I'm going to end up with a dark purple. Here we are. And I'm just laying basically some cord. I have this big spool of white cord. So I just inlay the glue and then just pop the cord in there, and it turned out really neat looking. Here I'm adding just a tiny bit of white to the silver here. Here I wanted the bottom of the box to look a little more finished, so I have different colors of this peel and stick. It's self-adhesive felt paper. So I'll be measuring, cutting, and just peeling that off, sticking that to the bottom of the box. Then I'll be adding my stamp on a little card, which I will glue on, and we have a finished product. And I mailed it to the people. I've never met them, but they reported back through my brother that they absolutely love this box, and I'm very proud to send it out. I love how it turned out. Thank you all for watching. Until next time. Oh, and keep watching. Final photos are coming right up.